welcome back to the Screensavers.
I can't believe it. I had no idea we were on. I'm Leo Laporte.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Thank you for joining us.
I was looking at Kevin's arm.
I don't want to know. Coming up in this half hour, Megan tweaks out in her list with 5 tricks for your PC, and we'll answer a viewer's email about turning your paper documents into editable text.
Easy for you to say.
Can it be done?
I don't think so.
At this point, we just don't know.
Let's check in right now with Michaela Pereira, the folks over at the TechLive set, to see what's coming up tonight. What is coming up tonight on TechLive, Michaela?
What exactly is coming up tonight? Well, you and I and Patrick and Martin, we're all used to having cameras around us at all times. It's part of the business, you know, being in TV and all. But cameras at traffic stop signs may be noticeable, but do you ever feel like you're being watched when you're at the bus stop or maybe even inside a school?
Ooh.
We're going to show you why the nation's capital may soon be the most watched city in the world, and we're actually going to show you how one school is adding an interactive feature to its security cameras. As well, first there were CDs, now there are SA CDs. We're going to introduce you to super audio CDs, music lovers. They can actually hold 10 times as much information compared to that of a good old regular CD. So is an SA CD player for you? They're costly, but you might just want to make the investment after you catch what we have to say about SACD. That's a lot of letters to remember. That's all coming up tonight on Tech Live, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Fellas, back to you.
Thank you very much, Michaela Pereira. And
Folks,
that's what's coming up on Tech Live.
Good stuff. Yesterday we asked you, do you read your EULA?
My uvula?
No, your EULA. Your end user license agreement. 11% of you said yes. 89% of you throw it away.
You might start reading your EULA.
You might.
Did you see some of the EULA? Were you talking about the Microsoft EULAs? Some of the stuff they snuck into their EULAs?
We were talking about, actually, there's a court case in California where they basically sat down on I guess it was Adobe, who was saying you couldn't unbundle, if you bought bundled software,
you can't unbundle it
with a scanner, you can't unbundle it. The court said,
yeah,
they bought it, they own it, they can sell it.
Right. Microsoft's got some amazing EULAs, especially in their enterprise level. Very disturbing. Anyway, let's talk about what we're talking about today, our vote today, which is, are you being tracked on the internet? And this comes from the fact that Comcast, now this is kind of a weird story. It happened very quickly. Yesterday, it came out that Comcast was actually recording everywhere its Comcast customers were online, if you're using Comcast's broadband internet service. And then Representative Ed Markey of Massachusetts said, wait a minute, that's illegal. Comcast backed down. They said, we're no longer going to track everything you do online, which seems like a good thing. Now, they said we were never tracking individual usage. We were only tracking en masse, and the whole idea was to speed up your access to the internet. Now, the point I would make is that every single internet service provider has that capability.
Yeah.
If you're surfing the net through a provider, you're on their servers, they can see exactly what you're doing.
I think Comcast went a little step above and beyond the call on this
They went too far. And I hope other providers aren't doing that. But how do we know? We didn't really know Comcast was doing it until a whistleblower called them on it. So that's the question of the day. Are you being tracked on the net, do you think? Yes or no? That could be everything from double-click cookies to your ISP watching every single thing you do online. And I'll tell you something else. You're certainly being tracked if you're at work. Don't you think? Everywhere you go online, in most workplaces,
I don't like that. Let's go to Rick. Rick joins us on the inside. Actually, go to thescreensavers.com and vote. Now we'll go to Rick from West Orange, New Jersey. How you doing tonight, Rick?
I'm doing good. How are you and Leo and Patrick?
We're wonderful, wonderful. What can we do for you today, sir?
I just want to say it's great to have you back, Leo.
Thank you. Well, I'm going away again.
Especially in the chat room.
I observed the president's ceremony this birthdays, and I observed Lincoln's birthday this week. Next week, I'll be taking 2 days off for Washington's birthday. I'm a very patriotic person.
Okay.
What are you laughing at? What can I do for you, Rick?
Okay, anyway, I want to know, is there any way to use video conferencing other than on the internet? You know, just to dial up to
I love this question.
Somebody's phone and do video conferencing that way?
I love this question. Let's talk about what's going on here. You're doing right now over the internet, right?
Right.
It's so you get on the net, and you're using NetMeeting, and it automatically sends the packets over the internet. There's a drawback to that, and as you can see it, when you look at his camera, it's slow. The frame movement can vary depending on internet traffic jams, and so there's some real limitations because you don't have a direct connection. Is there a way to get from my computer to your computer without the internet?
Oh boy, there's a bunch of ways. Back in the dark ages, H.320 was the international telecom standards will basically allow you to do a direct call from a computer or from a computer or another device to a computer or another device over an ISDN line.
Right.
Then they came up with the idea for doing it over phone lines. It was H.324, and there was a ton of products out there, primarily VideoNet's VD phone.
Remember that?
Which has disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah, now you're using H.323. That's the TCP/IP version of this. Is anybody still doing a 324 solution?
The only company I can find so far, because we've been waiting on this question for a couple days. The only company I can find so far that's
Intel's video phone.
Well, I don't know about that. First of all, there's a Japanese company that has Live Phone, which we'll put the link to that one. We can't actually see it for sale anywhere, but they claim it's an old school H.324 client.
There may be some high-end too as well, because I think a lot of the video conferencing for work.
What I did find is I found a list buried on an obscure Korean link off of an Intel.com website.
Holy moly!
That's got a list of them, and I'm not sure any of these are still sold, because when the H.323, the internet video conferencing programs came out, they pretty much killed off the entire H.324.
See, it's free to do it on H.323 because you're using the internet. You'd have to pay for a telephone call if you're going to use H.324. On the other hand, it is better.
One last one, 8x8 Incorporated, www.8x8.com, does standalone devices that work over POTS for video conferencing.
Now, I'll tell you, when we first started doing this network and we were going to do netcams, we did a lot of testing on the various ways to get netcams on. And initially we thought that point-to-point H.324 would be better, because you don't have internet congestion to worry about. But after a considerable testing, we realized that IP conferencing over H.323 really was as good, in some cases better, especially with people who have higher bandwidth. Remember, if you're doing a phone, it's modem to modem, it's going to be 33.6 at best from point to point. You're probably getting 100K bandwidth on a cable modem. So you actually get better connectivity.
That's the tough thing.
Yeah.
Chances are you should be getting it better on a broadband connection.
So I would stick, at least it's free, I'd stick with that, Rick. I understand, though, because when the internet's bogged down, then it's terrible.
The thing.
Anyway, thanks for the call. We appreciate it, Rick. It's great to hear from you. Let's check in now with Kat for the sight of the night.
Yes, okay, Screensavers fans. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. And I know that you've all gotten your loved ones great gifts and don't need a website to show you last-minute cards, gifts, or ideas. So this site will be totally irrelevant to you, right? But just in case you were wondering,
just get my notepad here and write some of this down.
Okay, exactly. This is Bonnie's Valentine's Day.
You think a cookie and a card is enough?
I think that'd be nice.
Okay, I got that.
Okay.
I need maybe one more.
So all you need now is to just hang out on this website all night and play. They have great ideas, and diamonds. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is they have...
Look at all these games.
Yeah, games and just cool places. It's a portal. Games, cool places you can visit. I'm going to click on... There's a link to Name That Candy Bar. Yay.
Oh, my wife would love this.
Yeah, right? So
instead of giving her candy, just give her the Name That Candy Bar game.
Right, exactly. And that's a fun place to hang out.
You want to try some of those?
Well, no, because I want to show you.
All right, show us some other ones.
I am good at it. Of course I'm good at it.
You know all of those, don't you?
Yeah, I do. The next thing we're going to do...
I saw a Mounds Bar in there.
Yes. Okay, the history of Valentine's Day is on here. And that's here, and it talks about St. Valentine's, and it gives you a little fun facts. Like on Valentine's Day.
The first guy's name you read in the paper or hear on the TV or radio will be the name of the man you'll marry. Yes. Patrick, I think you said your name first on the show tonight.
Oh.
What?
Oh, okay. Valentine's. Okay, there's these cute little cards that you can print out from a bunch of different websites. They're darling, and you can color them and give them to your loved ones. That's mostly for little kids.
This is a great site. I love this site.
It's got nice stuff on it.
Everything you'd ever want to know about Valentine's Day on this site.
Send a Valentine online.
Did you do? What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
I don't know. You'll see tomorrow. Valentine's doily. Look, I made this one for Patrick.
Oh, that's so precious. How long did you spend on that?
Actually, one of the interns. Last thing I'm going to show you, they have a link on here.
Do you hear that? She just kind of covered it. One of the interns did that.
Heart-shaped food is on here, too. It's a link. And so we made Patrick some heart-shaped food.
What is this? What food item is that?
That's a pancake and pizza. So, yeah, please keep sending me your suggestions to cat@techtv.com and check out the article on the website.
You know what OCR? Megan, by the way, before I do OCR, anything new on the Screensavers website?
Yes, I have put some more links to e-cards up there, thanks to Amy G. She's done a lot of research on Valentine's e-cards, and she's sent us a bunch of links. And also I wanted to real quick read this email from Jerry Guy. it just touched me. He said he'd like to thank me for the Intellivision emulator because Intellivision was what kept his mom busy while she was pregnant with him. I thought that was sweet.
He hears those sounds and he just salivates. I'm glad he touched you and not me. Coming up next, no Windows machine is safe from Morgan, and she has some Windows tips for Windows CE when the screensavers continue. Stick around.